Cowboys head coach Mike McCarthy said today that the worst thing you could do when you're playing on a short week in the NFL is to spend too much time on whatever happened the prior weekend. So we'll take that philosophy, we'll apply it to A to Z Sports Dallas Primetime, and with this being Tuesday, we'll move on to the Week 4 matchup for the Cowboys. This Thursday night, they are taking on the New York Giants. And let me tell you something, man. As Jordan Lewis said, this team can be beat by anybody in the NFL if they don't tighten it up. And it has to come on every front. It has to come on the players' front. It has to come on the coaching front. And the challenge that the Cowboys are facing right now is balancing the details, as Jordan Lewis called it, to facing a new opponent and getting ready for that game. So you want to move on, but also you got to look back and be like, what went wrong? And fixing it in a 4-day span sounds like a nightmare process for the Cowboys. Tonight, what we'll do is we'll take a look at 3 Giants that could extend the Cowboys' losing streak to 0-3, and who must step up on the Dallas side of things to stop them from doing so. And I'm going to start, ladies and gentlemen, with edge rusher Brian Burns. Let me tell you about Brian Burns. He obviously was with the Carolina Panthers before traded to the Giants, one of the biggest moves of the offseason. Brian Burns is currently a top 5 edge rusher according to PFF grades, and the numbers obviously back it up. He is fresh off of a amazing game last week. Obviously, he was playing backup tackles because they were facing the Cleveland Browns, and as I'm sure you remember from the Cowboys game, the Browns are dealing with injuries to their starting tackles. So they're dealing with that, right? Obviously, this team might get on the right track later on talking about Cleveland, but Brian Burns teed off against that offensive line for the Browns. And listen, the thing about Burns is that he's going to move around, but mostly he's going to face your left tackle, in this case, Tyler Guyton. However, ironically, I'm not choosing Guyton to be the Cowboys player to step up on that side of things. And I just remembered, man, I have graphics for this stuff. Brian Burns is going to be facing Tyler Guyton for the most part. But let me tell you something. I'm picking Terron Steel to be the guy that must step up because you can help Guyton out with some pass pro schemes. You can help him with some chips from the tight end, some chips from the running back. You can help him with some play action with Dak Prescott rolling the other way. You can move the pocket one way or another. But you find a very difficult time doing so if your right tackle also needs help. So that's why I'm choosing Terron Steel as the guy that must step up, man. Steel has struggled so far. He's tied for the 6th most pressures in the NFL, pressures allowed. Guyton is at 13, by the way. Choosing Steel because he's a veteran, and if he's able to survive by himself on the right side of the Cowboys formation, maybe Dallas can help out the rookie a little bit more. And I'm willing to cut Tyler Guyton some slack because this will only be his 4th game in the league. Terron Steel just has to step up right now. Now, let me tell you, the interior offensive line is also a unit that is struggling. We'll talk about that in a bit. But ultimately, if your tackles are getting destroyed on the edges, your offense stands no chance. And this needs to improve. Late towards the Ravens game, you could see the Cowboys' pockets get cleaner and cleaner. So you know these tackles can do it. But we'll see what the Cowboys do on Thursday against this Giants defensive front. But make no mistake about it, man. This guy is good. Now, number 2 on the list, and this is perhaps the most dangerous player that we're going to talk about today. Give me Dexter Lawrence on this list. Now, unfortunately, with the tackles, I could cut the rookie some slack, right? I'm like, hey, Tyler Guyton, sure, you got to be better, but Terron Steel is the guy that really needs to step up in that conversation. With Dexter Lawrence, the rookie cannot hide, right? So Cooper Beebe, the 3rd-round rookie for the Cowboys at center, he must step up. The thing is, you cannot hide a center that is getting his ass whooped by opposing defensive lineman. And Lawrence is arguably the best defensive tackle in the NFL right now. I would argue he's the absolute best. 17 quarterback pressures in 3 weeks. That is 2nd most in the NFL among defensive linemen. He is the 2nd best graded defender against the run in the entire NFL. And we're talking about a player that is just relentless, right? You can see him against top tier competition in the NFL, and Lawrence is making plays left and right. Sure, Tyler Smith will try to help. Zach Martin will try to help. But I can guarantee that the Giants will come in with a game plan where they're trying to isolate the rookie against Lawrence, which could end up being the biggest mismatch in the entire night. So Cooper Beebe will just have to buckle up, man, and try to do his best on this game. Is it unfair to ask a rookie to win this matchup? Probably so, but also Cooper Beebe, man, we've talked about the high floor. Hopefully he's up for the task. Tyler Smith and Zach Martin will help here and there, but I think the Giants will do their best to try to make this a one-on-one situation as much as you can. When you're talking about a nose tackle versus a center, right, it's obviously very muddy when it comes to the interior of the trenches warfare. But anyways, Dexter Lawrence is the one guy that I think can keep you from getting to 2-2, honestly, this week. So watch out for that matchup. And last but not least, a guy that is breaking out just now, as we speak almost, is wide receiver Malik Neighbors. Malik Neighbors had an 8-catch performance for 78 yards and 2 touchdowns versus the Cleveland Browns. And you're also watching Marvin Harrison Jr. with the Cardinals do his thing. These two dudes are making it clear that even as rookies, they can make an impact in the NFL. I don't think the Cowboys have proven to be a defense that can be picked apart on the secondary, right? Mostly the issue has been run defense and all of that. And if the Giants want to drop back to pass, they'll have to face the ferocious Cowboys pass rush. But if the Giants do need to pass at some point in the game, and let's assume that this game script goes a little bit better for Dallas, I would assume the Giants are trying to get the ball in the hands of Malik Neighbors because he looks absolutely legit. Consider this. This is somebody that some people thought was a better draft prospect than Harrison Jr., who ended up landing with the Arizona Cardinals. And that is because he's a refined route runner. He is a spectacular pass catcher. And we've already seen that come to fruition last week versus the Browns. So this momentum might be on the right track for the Giants rookie. And under the lights, on primetime TV, the Cowboys have to watch out. Who has to step up for Dallas? The real answer is every cornerback, because I would assume Mike Zimmer is not going to have anyone shadow Malik Neighbors. But you got to go with Trevon Diggs, because Kalen Carson, again, he's a 5th-round rookie. It might be unfair to ask him to step up against Malik Neighbors, who is also a rookie, but a different kind, as he was a top 5 NFL draft pick. But give me Trevon Diggs. He knows he has to be better. He knows that 3rd and 6 versus the Ravens was on him. He even talked about it, issued an apology on social media. Now he gets his chance to get some payback versus the Giants. You look at the film, you look at the numbers, Malik Neighbors, for the most part, is playing out wide, but he will move around because he spent about 40% of the snaps working from the slot. So Jordan Lewis will also get some looks at Malik Neighbors. For the most part, though, I want Malik Neighbors and Trevon Diggs to face each other because I think that would give the Cowboys a better chance at slowing the Giants' offense down. Now, these are the 3 players, again, that I think the Cowboys must step up against on Thursday if they want to make sure they walk out of New York with a win. You're talking about Brian Burns, edge rusher. You're talking about Dexter Lawrence. And you're talking about Malik Neighbors. But let me tell you something. Let's slow down for a little bit. That doesn't mean the Giants should be favored, right? The Cowboys could win this game. Totally. They should be favored to win. And I know right now Cowboys Nation is going through some panic, right? They're 0-2 in the last couple of weeks. They allowed 190 rushing yards to the Saints, 274 to the Ravens. It's ugly. It's looking ugly, period. But this is another tier of opponent. Hopefully the Cowboys show that on the game. They gotta fix the details because, as Jordan Lewis said, you can lose to anybody. There are some matchups that the Cowboys could exploit here. We'll talk more about this tomorrow. There's an offensive line that has some issues. Even Andrew Thomas, who is one of the best players on the Giants roster, mightily struggled against Myles Garrett and the Browns on Sunday. The right tackle, and I'm forgetting the last name of Jermaine. I remember I thought about his last name sounding like Numenor, the Lord of the Rings faction, if you will, or city, if you will. But he allowed a lot of pressures as well. So there's going to be some opportunities there for Micah. Once again, it's going to be a matter of, can you stop the Giants' rushing attack so you can get Daniel Jones to drop back and pass? And if the Cowboys manage to do that, then chances are this game is going to go your way. Hit the like button for me if you enjoyed the show. Thanks so much for being here. Check out the channel for more Cowboys content, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.